And for that, we turn to our sponsor, TwinSpires, and welcome back Andrew Brown. Andrew, it's good to see you.
It's great to see you again too, Tati. How you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm really excited and nervous because I know we've got a game coming up, but it's a super exciting time for Michigan basketball fans. What kind of game are we going to play, you and I?
Well, Tati, there's no need to be nervous because I know how much you enjoyed the Super Bowl game that we played together last month. And from memory, you beat Jason pretty comprehensively, didn't you?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
So we're going to play a similar game to that with a couple of multiple choice questions. Of course, the Michigan Wolverines women's team are through to their first Sweet 16.
All right.
And they kick off the party on Saturday against Baylor. And then, of course, the men's are through to their fourth consecutive Sweet 16. They play Florida State on Sunday. So you're right, a huge weekend for Michigan basketball fans. TwinSpires is betting on both games. My first question for you, Tati.
Okay, I'm ready.
Which team, the women's Wolverines team or the men's Wolverines team, do you think are the biggest odds to win?
The women.
You are 100% spot on.
Yes.
So the women's Wolverines team are around 5-to-1 odds with TwinSpires. What that means is if you put $10 on them and they win, you'll turn that $10 into $60. Whereas the men's team, they're actually favourites to win their matchup. If you put $10 on them and they win, you'll turn your $10 into about $18. So it's the women's team that's offering sports bettors a chance to turn a little into a lot this weekend.
Okay, I'm feeling lucky. Let's keep going.
All right, the next question for you. One of the most popular bets with TwinSpires players is the over-under total points scored in any given game. So the question for you, which team, the women or the men, do you think are going to score the most points?
I'm going to stick with overall, right? Not necessarily. Okay, I'm going to say the men.
You're 2 from 2. You are good at this. I hope you've got yourself a TwinSpires account. Yeah, you're exactly right. So the men, the TwinSpires traders have set the line with the men's game at around 144 points. In the women's game, they're expected, the over-under is set at 137 points. So it's pretty close between the two teams.
Okay, I clearly am lucky and I need to sign up immediately. So do you have another question for me?
This one's a little bit tougher, but what percentage chance do you think it is that both the men's team and women's team will win on the weekend and advance through to the Elite Eight?
What percentage? I will say, that's hard because percentages are a little bit more difficult. I will say that there is a 40% chance that both will advance.
It was a difficult question, probably a little bit unfair too, but if we combine both of their odds in a double, which you can do on the TwinSpires website or app, it's about a 10-to-1 chance, and that's an implied probability of around about 9% that both Wolverines teams will win this weekend. But I'm sure most of Michigan will have their fingers crossed that both teams win this weekend, and I'm sure there'll be a massive party in Ann Arbor if that's the case.
Indeed, definitely will be. Okay, and I think you've got one more question for me.
I do indeed. Obviously, I heard you talking earlier in the show about opening day at Comerica Park next week, and the Tigers are playing the Indians. Tati, what odds do you think the Tigers are of winning the World Series this year?
Okay, I'm going to say 100-to-1.
Oh, someone's giving you a heads up.
No.
Surely you are absolutely spot on.
No way, are you serious?
100-to-1. You're amazing.
That was a guess. That was a complete guess.
You're absolutely right. A $10 bet on them could turn into $1,000 if it happens. They're not expected. People aren't giving them that big a chance, but I should remind you, the St. Louis Cardinals were 1,000-to-1 mid-season about 10 years ago when they won the World Series. So effectively, don't give up hope. Anything can happen.
Yeah, that's definitely me. I never give up hope. So how can people bet on the baseball and the two the baseball and the two big basketball games this weekend with TwinSpires?
All you have to do is download the TwinSpires app or visit twinspires.com. Tati, I know you love a deal, and there's a great deal for new players at the moment as well. For those new players that sign up, you can get up to $1,000 worth of free bets to bet on the games over your first 7 days. So I think I've read that you're a frugalista. That's a pretty good deal for a frugalista.
No, that's great. Yes, it is a great deal, and I love a great deal. And thank you for joining us. That was so much fun.
Thank you very much for having me, Tati. Have a wonderful weekend and go Wolverines.